You still haven't figured out what riding waves is all about, have you? It's a state of mind. It's that place where you lose yourself and you find yourself. You don't know it yet, but you got it. It's right there. It's not tragic to die doing what you love. Little Hand says it's time to rock and roll.
Everybody freeze! Somebody move! Keep your hands up and your eyes down!
We are the ex-presidents.
FBI! Freeze!
Special Agent John, Utah, day number 1 in LA. Welcome aboard.
You want to nail the bank robbers and be a big hero.
Definitely.
That's Bodhi. They call him the Bodhisattva.
If you want the ultimate, you gotta be willing to pay the ultimate price.
Short trust tomorrow. Next day outside the latest.
Everything moves in cycles. So twice a century, the ocean lets us know just how small we really are. It's the ultimate rush. There's nothing that comes close to it. Not even sex. Johnny has his own demons. Don't you, Johnny?
The ex-presidents are surfers.
Just feel what the wave is doing. Then accept its energy, get in sync, then charge with it.
You two have produced exactly squat! During which time, the ex-presidents have robbed 2 more banks!
I can't describe what I'm feeling. This was never about money for us. It was about us against the system.
Give me a fucking break! I am God!
When you shoot, you don't miss.
Don't fire! After you, Alphonse!
Fear causes hesitation. And hesitation will cause your worst fears to come true.
No!
Or you're getting too goddamn close to the surfing guru buddy of yours.
Adios, amigo!
All right, what's the business? I like how I go right back into it as this has just started. What's the business? This is Rob Lee, and this is Let's Watch It Again. Today, this is a first. This is a first. This is a person that's been outside of the MTR space, the MTR universe. We have the homie Aaron Brown join us on this podcast, and I'm really excited. Welcome, sir.
Oh, yeah. Oh, your boy is in here. Cringe Abdul-Jabbar is in the building.
Nice. I mean, the next time we do one of these, I feel like we just have to just start throwing our aliases out at each other and see what sticks.
For sure. For sure.
So what we're going to cover today is a 1991 film. So it's in its 30th anniversary, right? And this was Catherine Bigelow's most successful financial film up until like Zero Dark 30. And we're covering Point Break. And so Point Break, let's go over the synopsis. Let's talk about it a little bit. Let's get into these release notes. So, as I look at movies that came out, like in these anniversary years, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and so on. This movie came out 30 years ago, and it came out against like a major movie, like Terminator Judgment Day came out around the same time.
This came out during Judgment Day?
Dude, you're going to love this. You're going to love this.
Yo!
There's more details. I'm going to give you the synopsis, and then we're going to go. So synopsis. And the way that I like to do it is I'll get the synopsis, and because you've watched the movie as well, tell me what is missing in the synopsis, if anything.
I got you.
And okay, synopsis. In Los Angeles, California, a gang of bank robbers called themselves the ex-presidents commit crimes while wearing the masks of ex-presidents Reagan, Carter, Nixon, and Johnson. The FBI believes that the members of the gang could be surfers and send young agent Johnny Utah over undercover at the beach to mix with the surfers and gather information. Utah meets surfer Bodhi and gets drawn into a lifestyle of his new friend. Point Break. So is that adequate in terms of a synopsis?
I think that it sells the film a little short, honestly.
Fair. What do you feel?
This coming out in 91. Yeah, like this could have been, let's see. This could have been like the synopsis could have been written about like a Michael Bay film, and I think it would have been more. This is Catherine Bigelow doing Michael Bay.
Yes.
In like a 90s detective movie. It's so weird. Did the synopsis name drop who's in it? Like but do they name drop by actors or just by characters?
I think they name drop it by characters. They threw in Johnny Utah and they threw in Bodhi, but they don't really go further because you have Busey in it. You have Who's the guy that was the like top agent who's like just a dickhead? They called him young, dumb, and full of cum.
So my notes, I just have him as Dr. Cox because that's the only name that I can remember him as because it's Dr. Cox from Scrubs.
This guy. I mean, he was also in Seven, by the way. And
no. My girlfriend texted me this. I think she texted me this and I talked to her about it. But keep going. Because
he had this great line in Seven. He's like, dicks! And fucking. So here's some release notes. And this is what I kind of like jerked the curtain on a second ago. Point Break was released on July 12th, 1991. It's in just over 1,600 theaters, grossing $8.5 million on its opening weekend. Behind Terminator 2, who was directed by Bigelow's then husband, James Cameron. So this is what I wanted to get to. They got
there's petty.
No,
this is
petty.
Petty.
They got divorced the same year, by the way.
I wish that everyone could see what the face I just made because my whole shit just opened up. Like, what?
Now, there was talk, and I think it's in one of my details later, but there was talk that there was a writer's strike as far as finishing out this film. So both of them are listed as producers, and they didn't get credited as writers, but they wrote on this film as well. So he was helping his wife with this film.
Oh, my God.
Who would be his competition?
Yo.
So James Cameron, so the second weekend in all openings of the reissue of 101 Dalmatians and Boys in the Hood. With a budget of $24 million, the film went on to make about 43 in North America and 40 internationally. So with a total of just under 84 million. So that's good return. 24, 84, that's good return. Especially in the 90s, like that exchange rate, that's probably about double. So cult status, and that's what one of these movies, this movie is.
For sure.
It's not necessarily a good movie, but it is an enjoyable movie. That's the way I kind of look at it. So,
No, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. There's a lot of this that I'm just like, okay.
So, and I'll hit you all the cast stuff in a moment. So cult status. So noted website, the AV Club, referred to the film as a cult favorite and mentioned the wild mishmash of acting styles and the homoerotic undertones, which I know we're going to talk about later. While the Daily Paragraph wrote that the film is certainly qualified as a cult favorite. Furthermore, Rolling Stone called the Point Break the greatest female gaze action movie ever, citing the bodily condition of Reeves and Swayze, and it's known as a wet Western.
I like that. I like wet Western. That's really good.
And it definitely has those elements in there. It just works. And there are certain things that are odd, and you start looking at this. I was like, I always do this thing of what else were you doing when this movie came out? You know, like I was 6 when this movie came out, so I saw it a few years.
I was 1. I was 1 year old when this came out. This movie is like sick. This movie is like 3 months younger than me.
Wow.
Maybe. No, like a year and 3 months. A year and 3 months, probably.
All right. I'm gonna hit you with the cast. We have Patrick Swayze as Bodhi, Keanu Reeves as FBI agent Johnny Utah, Gary Busey as these are 2 names that don't work. Both of the FBI agents' names don't work. Actually, all 3 of them. So Gary Busey played Agent Angelo Papas.
Gary Busey is not Italian.
He's not Greek either.
He's not Greek.
I was waiting for him to
yell
over.
He's not for the Mediterranean.
Right.
He's not for the Mediterranean.
When I was in Sardinia, like, you were not, sir. Especially, remember in the beginning when he like jumps into the friggin' pool? And it's like a side cannonball. I've never seen one of those before.
It was So, and like I put in my notes, this is just anecdotal. It was like, is this ... Gary Busey acting well? and when we get to our further anecdotes, I'll follow that up with the further down kind of where I actually have to go back on that statement like a little bit afterwards.
Yeah, I have a scene in here that's not good. Lori Petty is Taylor Endicott. John C. McGinley, that's Cox you were talking. John C. McGinley. And his name is FBI Director Ben Harp. So your first day of work, the director, it says you're young, dumb, and full of cum.
I put that in my notes. I literally put that. That is, where is it? That is my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my 7th note that I put for myself is just in quotes, young, dumb, full of cum. Like, what?
I'll say FBI, everyone there was a dick. That's the only way I can really put it.
For sure. Yeah. Also, I put these haircuts are shit.
Yes, everyone. I mean, I will say during the 90s, because I believe Patrick Swayze was also this was right after Ghost or concurrent to Ghost when the filming was happening. And he had a chameleon thing going on. Like when his hair was wet, he looked like the Swayze we know. But when it's kind of out and kind of blondish,
out there.
Yeah, he looks like a different dude.
I put a note, we'll talk about it. There's notes in there where I'm like, how do you turn down a surfer with a dreamy locks of hair? I'm like, you have to listen to him.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like it's just like he's like the dude that will call you sacred friend. And you're like, yeah, whatever you want. You want me to kill people? Sure, we got it.
No, I have a note. White guy's name Bodhi. ... Eye roll emoji.
Always. I've run into a few Bodhies. There's some scenes in there that just don't really jam for me. So those are the main people, and we have a little Lee Tergesian, who played Rosie. And he is famous for which HBO show? Do you know this HBO show he was in for like 6 years?
Was it Game of Thrones?
It's crime related.
I do not. I did not get back in the HBO game until super recently.
He was on Oz.
Really?
Yeah. He was Beecher.
Okay.
He was Beecher, and him and Christopher Maloney were in a relationship on the show.
Beautiful Christopher Maloney.
Yeah. Is that a chef kiss?
Yes. Law and Order's favorite ass, like best ass of all the cast. Yeah. Wow. Chef's kiss.
Wow. So we can go into one or two things. We can start going into the trivia around it, or we can go into some of our observations. How do you want to go about this?
Let's go hot takes in the middle, because we've let everything in with kind of the base stuff. Yeah. Now let's go over the this is us almost Jesus and mirroring it, like what the fuck did we just watch as we're going through it. And then we can go through the trivia with that same kind of high energy of okay, let's go through the trivia related to the things that we pulled out from this.
Let's get it.
All right. Oh my God.
So spin out your initial your observations and what have you, because you were live tweeting. Mine's is just kind of all over the place. I have a reference to Johnny Utah's name, and
I said, what the hell kind of name is Johnny Utah from Ohio?
It's not good. It's not good. It sounds like an FBI name.
It sounds like an FBI name, but no. My first note was with the intro, the sliding text and the stylized A's on Point Break. I was like, oh yeah, I like that. And then immediately after, I said, is this pre John Wick? Nice. Because man's is on a mission to get this guy.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going to get this fucker. So I'll say this before this podcast is brought to you by Sex Wax.
And I said, so on top of them being bank robbers, I was like, Surfer Thieves is a pretty decent concept, and Gary Busey's veneers have always looked terrible.
Yes.
Also, Tyler's being from Ohio apparently makes you a city boy.
Yeah, it's
like during the learn to surf montage.
It's a farm. Like it's a lot of farm there, I thought.
There's a lot of nothing going out there. And then, but immediately led to, like, at the beach scene, leather chaps on a beach seems like a bad idea, especially for beach football.
Can we talk about all right, so two things. One, the bank robbery things. This is a question that I had.
Yes.
So in terms of like bank robberies in movies, as far as this is in the first, let's say 15 minutes that they do that bank robbery. So I still kind of consider it early because the movie's over 2 hours. Better bank robbery scene to start off a film. You have Point Break, Heat, or The Dark Knight. Which one are you going with?
It's tough because Dark Knight is cinematically the best one. Like, it's the one that looks the prettiest for sure. Heat is the most visceral, but I'm assuming Point Breaks is like the earliest chronologically. It's the most. It's the oldest of them all. Because my note was just bank security sucked in '91.
Yes.
That was my comment. So I'm like, we have to think about this based on the timeline that this happened. Yeah. And for '91. That's a pretty effective bank robbery. That's a pretty efficient bank robbery. I'll give them that.
90 seconds.
The theatrics of theatrics of Dark Knight Rises. Is that the bank scene?
That's just Dark Knight. Yeah, just
Dark Knight from Dark. Yeah, that bank scene is theater. it is a ballet almost.
It's a crescendo up to it too. If this is the earliest iteration and Heat is the second one, and Heat the sound mixing there too is cacophonous.
I think that's what makes it the best one. I'm not an audiophile, but I appreciate good sound. You know, as someone that's blind but not deaf, you get to hear a little better. So I think that Heat, because it sonically sounds like how a bank robbery would sound. Like if there's gunfire going off, it's going to be uncomfortable, and it sounds the most accurate to what I would expect a bank robbery to be.
Let's see. So I have the Johnny Utah thing. I want to throw this in there real quick. There's actually two.
Wait, before we jump into this,
please.
There's a quote from the bank robbery that I want to put in there. When they're throwing people down, and I think this is LBJ's surfer thief says to a woman, "Hey, you got earwax," and then just shoves her to the ground. Like no time to respond. Just, "Hey, you got earwax," and I'm like, "Oh God." Oh God!
Where is that note? I wrote it down somewhere about right here. I don't need to rewind on Nixon's ass, and I counted 3 times within the first 15 minutes. It's like they went back to show the whole mooning, and I was like, "Are we stopping and freezing here on this dude's ass?"
Is this the clip? This is the clip.
And just Keanu was like, "I'm gonna get something out of this." I was like, "I don't want to get anything out of this."
Well, as we said, we'll get into the whole homoerotic undertone or overtones of the film as we move through this. But I will say, I loved surfer bank robbers fucking up Nazi surfers.
Yes, absolutely.
We had Nazi surfers.
That sounds like a leftover like grindhouse exploitation flick. It was like, let's just put this in there. Fuck it.
Yes, that was absolutely wild. That like I said, fuck yeah, beating up Nazi surfers. Also, Nazi surfers following. I feel like surfers shouldn't know Taekwondo.
Look, don't get me started because I'll make you watch friggin' what's the name of it? Miami Connection.
No, I refuse.
You have to.
I refuse.
You got to do it.
All right, fine.
What's the dude's name? War Child. That fucking guy.
Yes, like they all have like. Aggressively like primal like Nazi names. Like they're like nomadic Nazi surfers. Oh my God, it's so, and the haircuts were crazy.
Yeah, his haircut was
fucking laser lines with the fucking long little twists at the bottom of his sideburns.
Not good. And Anthony Kiedis was just ready for his foot to get blown off. I was just like, come on, let's just get it.
That was Anthony Kiedis in there, wasn't it? Holy shit.
His original gap. The original chip tooth, the whole thing.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I didn't know that one.
Under the bridge.
Okay.
So my 2 Johnny Utah things.
Run with it.
1. So the Johnny Utah thing has, and it's in that trivia thing, but his name is an amalgamation of Joe Montana and Johnny Unitas.
Yes.
Because of the whole quarterback thing. And I was like, why couldn't his name been like Jeff Oregon or something? Like, I don't want Utah as a name is not a name. Utah as a name in any part sounds like it's a nickname. It sounds like it's a fake name that you use to sound cool. Yeah, it's like, I'm Big Daddy Salt Lake. That's what I feel. The other observation I had, and they touched on it, and it does play a role later, but at the time I was having concerns. I was like, why did he have to be a quarterback, an ex-quarterback rather? And it's like, you ascend upwards. It's like, oh, I was a quarterback, then law school, and then now I'm an FBI agent. It's like, you're 25. How, like, I've been 25. I don't know what that 3-year arc looks like, especially considering you were in like law school. I don't know what that looks like.
You were in an accelerated program in law school in 1986. If it takes place in 91, like it couldn't have been more than a couple of years before he got there in 91. If it's time accurate.
But he's 25 though.
He's 25.
Yeah.
So he definitely was. Oh God.
The timing says it starts to not work out.
Dude came in with a whole alibi about his life.
That doesn't quite line up. Sometimes I'll.
Oh no, my quote. Yeah. White folk be lying. I put that in all caps.
Remember when he goes to pick up the surfboard initially, and that super young kid's like, "Hey, bro, it's really going to change your life." I was like, I hate this dude.
Oh yeah, I was like, I have so many notes about the progression of Johnny Utah's surfing prowess, and I'm like, surfing is hard, and then I go. So Utah goes from noob to capable surfer in no more than 4 weeks. Okay, eye roll emoji.
Right.
Like, I'm like, there's no reason this makes sense. But also, like, I got into like his fits because he's wearing a crop top on the beach, and I'm like, okay, this is a look. I can get down with the '90s. Like, crop top was a thing. But then when they go to, oh no, I said this when we get to the hippie house, the surfer hippie house that like Bodhi and them live at. Yeah. I was like, why does this feel like I'm in a party at the Annex or the Copycat?
When that one dude was like pop locking or whatever directly in front of the camera, I cringed. I was like, fuck this, man. I was like,
oh, it was like the worst parts of The Crown, the Copycat, and the Annex all together. Yes. I'm like, yeah, it's a bunch of white people in a room. That sounds about right.
It's like the amount of, like, if you would age that up like 6 years, right? It's going to be a lot of loose form, free form locks that aren't going to really work. The smells in there are not going to be.
Oh, I wrote that it probably smells like a frat house in there.
Me and my mans would use the terminology. I bet it smells like a wrestling show in there.
It definitely smells like a wrestling show in there. Also, why were Utah and Tyler so overdressed for the hippie house party?
Right. Absolutely.
Like legitimately dressed in a button-down shirt and a dress.
So this is this kind of, it falls under this what works and what doesn't work kind of thing. So going back to the whole, what kind of like, why did he need to be a quarterback? And then I started thinking like, what kind of quarterback was he? Because he's doing a lot of running, but he's also doing the pocket stuff when they're doing the beach firelit football in leather. Yeah. Everyone's wearing leather.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, dude. So were you second string? Did you play multiple? Like, were you like a wide receiver who was also a QB? Did you just flip between teams? Or flip between positions? And then he's probably a wide receiver who became a quarterback.
And then they brought up the thing. Yeah, man, I remember that game, bro. You know, when you were playing for Ohio. I was like, shut up. You were not watching any national football championship. You were not watching the Sugar Bowl.
Oh no! I said I was like Patrick Swayze serving surfer platitudes to Keanu Reeves is something I didn't know I needed until I saw it.
Right.
Because I'm like, it's like watching Keanu Reeves get Keanu Reeves by an older blonde Keanu Reeves.
Good. Okay. So I got that. So this is a question I have for you.
Go for it.
Which president are you in the gang? You can add one. You can be one that's already there, but you're in this gang, blood in, blood out. You know, you have the parlance, and it's like, you need to be a president in the ex-presidents. Which one are you?
I mean, if I had to pick of the ones that are there, I'll give the ones that are there, and then I'll give some honorable mentions. If I'm of the ones that are there, I would probably be Reagan, because I'd be the one that would want to just like not have anybody get hurt, get in, get the money, get out, and just like use the psychology of a bank robbery to get what you need and leave. Like zero casualties. That's how I would be.
Early Reagan, though, not late Reagan.
Early Reagan.
Because late Reagan, everyone got fucked.
Yes, I had to be early Reagan. Well, at the end of the day, Rosie is the most evil person of the crew. By far. Rosie is the most evil.
And I'm here for it.
And Roach is the most wholesome. But what was it? If I had to choose two honorable mention presidents to be, and if I could import two, I would be either JFK or I would do the most ignorant shit possible, and I would be, it's a tie between Obama or Trump. I'd be super ignorant and go Trump, or I'd be real ignorant and go Obama. My fellow Americans, put the money in the bag.
I would want to be like, I would want to be both Bushes. Yes.
Ooh, both Bushes. Like some Voldemort shit. You've got young Bush on the front, old Bush on the back.
Yes. It's just like, he's not reading things properly. He must be W.
He must be W. Although, no, to be fair, no, I feel like the best one that would throw people off would be Jimmy Carter.
See, that was my
Jimmy Carter would confuse so many people. Like, what? Sweet Jimmy, no.
Yo.
Think of the peanuts.
Or you just go really classic. You're like, look, I got to get my powdered wig. It's like, I need to go George Washington.
Yo, oh my God. I would go as William Howard Taft. No, or who was it? Who was in the wheelchair again? Was it FDR?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yo, imagine doing a big heist in a wheelchair.
See, if you're gonna
as FDR,
if you're gonna play that game, because
you're the driver. The FDR's the driver. He's already got wheels.
If you're gonna play that game, I am his height in real life, but I would walk on stilts. It's like I'm just gonna go on there as Lincoln, just stovepipe that shit up. I'm not gonna get away. I'm just gonna get stuck trying to leave. You
just ding your head in the door off the door frame to leaving.
Right.
Okay.
So one observation I have is it felt a little contrived, but the chase scene was so good.
I have so many good notes on the chase scene. I love this. Let's talk about it.
I like how it kind of killed my earlier point about why did he have to be a quarterback, and immediately his knee went right into it. His Dante Culpepper knee went right into it, and it was just collapsed. And then he has to do that great scene, bloosh, bloosh, bloosh. It's like,
oh, I see. Yes. Oh, what was it? Where is it? Emptying the clip into the sky as a means of emotional outburst. That's what I labeled that as.
It is super homoerotic too. It's like, I really wanted to get to him.
I have notes. I have comments leading up to that chase scene, which I think are hilarious, which are the length of board shorts in 91 was atrocious. Gary Busey in Hawaiian shirts is an absolute flex of style, and I love it. The fat boy in me was like 2 meatball subs, a tuna on wheat, and 2 lemonades for $7.84.
Hold on. What did he say? Utah, bring me 2.
Give me 2. Give me 2. And no, someone used that phrase verbatim in a group chat that I just got added in entirely out of context. Blew my fucking mind. Then, casual bank robbery behind FBI agent ordering sandwiches.
I was just like, is this fucking happening? Like directly behind him?
Then it was like casual gas station flamethrower.
Yes.
And then, that's okay. So Reagan definitely committed arson with that DIY flamethrower at the gas station because it explodes after their chasing.
Yes.
And then my main point is my man's Reagan threw a fucking pit bull at Johnny Utah during an on-foot chase.
That's what I wrote down.
And then right after this is like, after all this is this Gary Busey acting well? After that whole scene, I'm like, Gary Busey's done it. Gary Busey's fucking done it because he gave me like Morgan Freeman in Seven vibes of I don't fuck with you, but I fuck with you. But yeah, I cannot believe that Patrick Swayze threw a live pit bull at Keanu Reeves during an on-foot chase.
and then
busted my man's knee on a fence run.
Yes, he just went down like, oh. He immediately grabbed his Derrick Rose knee and he's like, no.
Just hit the hard Peter Griffin. Ah! Right. So bang, 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 bang.
So I had a few more things before we get to some trivia, unless you had a few other things. But I got scenes that I want to talk about, and we'll probably say that after the trivia. And I have just one question. Have you been friends with, or have you been the friend that had that Bodie level of charisma? Because Bodie could get you to do anything.
See, that's tough because you know what, to be entirely transparent, I would probably be the Bodie because I would find a way to talk someone into most anything. There was a point in my life where I had a thing called Aaron Browning where it was a verb, and I would just talk to you until you like conceded and did the thing.
Wow.
It worked on getting discounts. It would get me like into like VIP sections. It would get me like whatever I was looking for. I did not use it maliciously. It was purely just to get where I wanted to go to do fun shit. But like, I would probably be that guy, but I would be lying if I didn't say that I have friends that are absolutely Bodie. I have several friends. I can't think I have like a cloud of people that come to mind. I can't pull names out specifically, but I'm like, there are definitely people I know. There are black guys that I know that have Bodie charisma.
I think I'm a tweener. I don't really, I go to the beat of my own drum most times, but I can be swayed. If someone has a really like cogent argument, it's like, all right, you know what? You're right. I should kill that guy. Sure. You have the lie already? Great. Let's just sprinkle it. But then at the same time, like, you just want to do that shit, right? And don't even really go further into it. It's like, you just want to do it.
Like, Bodie knows he has a silver tongue.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it, because like I think Tyler kind of knew his bullshit early on. But the thing that
she got out and then she got back in because of fucking Utah.
So hold on. So you know what? We might as well hit the homoerotic thing before we get into the trivia.
Yes.
So, okay, one thing that stuck out to me, it was because the way it was said, he shows up at the party and Bodie tells him, "Say, yeah, man, Mikasa Sukasa, man, everything you want here, anything." And I was like, was that?
And then he like held the gaze for a little bit.
Yeah.
He held the gaze for just a beat too long, and we're like, okay.
He's like, what? Sure.
That was the moment we got. That was the moment that we realized it was a wet Western.
Definitely, it was not dry.
It was wet. It was not just wet from the waves.
Yeah, and then you had the shooting scene, or what have you? I blew up my knee or whatever, and it's like you still could hit him. Like, but do I love him? That was kind of the energy, and it's like, my frustration, blam, blam, blam.
And that's not the first time that someone just fires off a gun, like has a firearm and a fit of emotion. But it has to do with Tyler, so we'll get to that later.
Yes.
Oh, but there's a great note that I had about it was much easier to be a bank robber when cop cars could barely clear 65 miles an hour.
Yes.
I'm like, yo, these guys are doing like Route 70 numbers in the slow lane, chasing each other. At a certain point,
They could not. It just wasn't working.
it wasn't working. There's my Rosie's probably on the spectrum statement that I put in there.
I fucked with Rosie just because of the sheer, like, as the way that Bodhi described it. Oh, he's a mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I was like, Bodhi might be a piece of shit. I was like, he actually is a piece of shit. I'm using.
Bodhi was totally a piece of shit.
It's like
I'm using my friend that's on the spectrum to commit crimes and to hold women hostage at the threat of dismemberment, and he just took it.
Well, also, don't forget this one. A woman that I presented that I loved at one point in this way. And it's like, yeah, just grab her, hold this night. You know, I can't stop him. Now, if I get there, we might be able to sort it out. But, you know, once Rosie starts rosing, you know.
Rose is going to rose.
And it's going to be bloody. It's going to be messy.
It's going to be real bad.
He made.
Also, I can't believe they did Roach so dirty. They did Roach so dirty by the end. Roach is the young one with the middle part.
Yeah.
They did Roach so bad.
It wasn't.
He's also the one that said that surfing was better than sex. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe that was a foreshadowing that he's not going to make it.
Yeah, you can't say shit like that and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be.
You can't go with that.
I'll be here. I'll make it to this part of Australia later in the movie. We'll do it together. No, you won't.
Also, but I think the pivotal point is there's pre Utah's knee getting blown out, and then there's post Utah's knee getting blown out in this movie. Because I have a comment like, yo, they went off the goddamn rails with this movie after he blew his knee out.
Yes. Absolutely.
It skips fourth gear and goes straight to sixth.
So hold on. So let's get back into the homoerotic thing about it. But also, I want to talk about the one thing with Gary Busey going out. I was like, yo, Johnny.
Oh, that was the comment I had. That was the comment I had. It's like, yo, Gary. So it was like, Gary Busey has never known how to die well on camera.
He got
like it's like bad Sean Bean death. Because Sean Bean is a king of dying on camera,
yes,
and Gary Busey is a jester. he is an Earl at best.
I was like, why are your teeth out while you're dying, sir? Can we do something different?
Yo, my man had his back blown out. No pun intended. Hey.
He goes down and it's like, yo, this was a bad plan, guys. Get to this airport. Also, how long did it take you fuckers from getting concussed with like the back of a pistol to the police getting there, chewing you out, and you somehow getting to the airport? Like, how long were you concussed?
Also, can we talk about the shitty other agents that were with them?
They suck.
They sucked. The whole precinct is terrible. The whole precinct is trash. Throw the whole precinct away.
Oh, hold on. Also, let's talk about real quick. Nazi girlfriends.
Nazi girlfriends stabbing people.
They're down. They're down
for the cause. Yo, they said that when they said know how to work a pole, they did not mean just the stripper pole.
Right.
She had the blade. She had the blicky.
Yes.
She took the pistol to the dome.
And she didn't do the goofy thing of like, let me put my towel on. She's like, titties swinging, I'm stabbing. Let's go.
You know what? This is such a colorful statement to say, but Nazis are nothing if not down for their cause.
Yes.
I hate to give it to them, but they are down for their fucking cause.
It's like that Matt Bronner bit. He's like, Nazis are pieces of shit, but they dressed really crisp. He's like, those uniforms. He's like regalia. He's like, they suck, but they were sharp.
They got the drop.
Now, yeah, like it's like we have everything that we want, like up to that point, right? Like you get rid of the things that you don't need. Now, there are some issues as to how are you still an FBI agent? You were going to jail, Johnny, because you were an accomplice to this last robbery.
Where people died.
Yes.
Including an off-duty cop.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I put this at the end of it. Like, well, we'll get to when we get to the end of the film, but like, I was like, I feel like skydiving with a knee injury is not a good idea, especially without a parachute.
Yeah, there's some weird science there too.
His knee is fine by the time he gets to the airport. His knee is definitely shattered after the landing. Mm-hmm. The whole like there's a point where I said this, like, we clearly, I said the premise of going somewhere where phones are not readily available lets me know this film should never have been remade in 2015. In parentheses, also fuck Rosie.
Yeah, the 2015 one was Wild Buns. Also, to go back along to that 25-year-old thing, and I did grad school.
Yeah.
So, also, he said he did 2 years of rehab for his knee.
When? While playing?
That math does not add up, because it's like
white folk be lying.
We just see
white folk be lying.
We see you like the beginning of Silence of the Lambs, like we see Clarice Starling just running and doing all of her training. Mm-hmm. We just see you at a firing range, and then it's like, here's your FBI certificate.
Oh no! With that heist scene, because to briefly do this, you said he should have been going to jail.
Yeah.
I love that Bodhi just stopped listening to his own advice, which is never go for the vault.
He said, "Fuck it," just
never go for the vault. At that point, when you go for the vault, people start dying.
You know what? I'll
like the not.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, well, mine goes to a different section of that, but I'm gonna pause at that point.
I'll say that
because that's wild.
Maybe the balance was thrown off. That's why I think with him it's a balance thing, right? This is my crew. This is what I'm doing. But I added another element here. So you know what? We're going to make sure he's left here holding the bag.
Exactly.
And that's why
he's got to have the gun.
Yeah. And that's why we're going for the vault. But still the timing, it's like, I don't think you guys had this planned, because the one dude, I'm blanking on who it was, that was at the front. He was like, we're kind of out of time here. We need to go.
That was the dude that got killed at the airport. Oh, he's the one that makes it almost to the end, because he gets killed and then Roach dies, and then like Bodhi and Rosie get away technically.
Yeah.
No, and then Rosie died. Yo, Rosie gets taken. I was like, yo, Rosie went out like a bitch. I said Rosie went out like a punk bitch in Mexico.
Yeah, he got stabbed off screen. It's like, yeah, it was just a piece of meat there. I guess he had a knife fight with someone that was better than him. It's like, damn.
Yeah,
I was like, that's rough.
But that whole Australia thing, I will say, and this is a big credit to Catherine Bigelow, bringing back the passive comment, like the passive story about the 50-foot waves in Australia. Yeah. Was it Australia or New Zealand? Before I believe
it was Australia.
Statement. I think it was Australia, because that was like an actual thing that happens. But what was it? I was like, G'day, mate, there's a storm brewing at the final wave. And then my second to last comment is terrible movie to watch in light of all the police brutality that's gone on in the last year. For a white cop to let a white criminal get out to surf at a half-century wave after already catching him.
Yes.
Like, you caught him.
Yes.
And you let him go to die and effectively get away.
Yes. He died.
And then like at the end, in all caps, I put, and then he just up and quits being a cop, shrug face.
And also, okay, question. This is something I don't know if we can really even answer. Is he still with Tyler at this point?
I think so. I think Tyler is so down for his cause and his other thing that she's just here for it.
I mean,
although no, I did say earlier, I was like, I originally said Tyler is a smart woman, Utah is a dumb man, and then I flipped it later in the bedroom scene, and I'm like, correction, Tyler is a dumb woman, Utah is a dumber man. Tyler's a dumb woman because she pulled a firearm on a federal agent.
Yeah.
And then ran away butt-ass naked in his clothing.
Yeah.
Or like stark naked with just his like shirt on, his work shirt. I'm like, yo, white people are crazy. Surfers are crazy.
That's an FBI commissioned Oxford shirt that you you left.
You're running in contraband at this point.
Right.
Or running in evidence. You're running in evidence.
So the other thing I had,
but that was the end of my notes. That was like all that I got to by the time we got to the end. It was like, and he just up and quits being a cop and goes back to Tyler.
Yeah, he just chucks it or what have you. It's like, you let him get in the way. No, I didn't. Done. You know, he's done. I think that was that last testament or what have you of. I think Bodhi was the unattainable for Johnny, and I think Tyler was a proxy.
Oh, for sure. Going back to the homoerotic tendencies, Tyler was a proxy to get to Bodhi, and I'm pretty sure there was reasons behind that weren't just his job.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
and like if they're queer and they swing that way, by all means. But like if it's free love and you're going out there to do that, the other FBI agent that was with the Nazis. I'm sorry, I have to like take a segue. The other agent that was with the Nazis over the 2 kilos of heroin that they found.
Oh yeah, Tom Sizemore.
Tom Sizemore was just a random undercover agent.
He's like, don't want my fucking hair like this. It was so.
You think I like my hair like this?
Funny as shit.
Oh, and I'm sorry. Last of the time, I was what the fuck was up with the lawnmower scene?
Yeah, it could have turned to a horror movie very briefly.
Suburban lawnmowers are a liability, and then I said, like, how is the push mower still running with the clutch disengaged?
Sure.
Like, I saw that. I like, we all know an electric push mower. It still requires you to hold the clutch.
Yes.
To move it. And I'm like, this thing should not have been running.
I mean, maybe he used this Nazi wizardry and also he's a little too brown to be a Nazi. Nazi wizardry, because that dude's from New Zealand.
I feel like he was more skinhead than Nazi.
True.
But and then like my last thing about that was like, how do you tackle someone through a window when you hit them from the side, from in the house?
That was.
I caught that. I was like, wait, what?
It was one of those other things like, yeah, he's a football player. It's like, shut up. He's a quarterback. He wasn't tackling anyone.
This is not Lamar Jackson. He's not going in and just like getting it done. It's not a pocket QB.
Right. It is a few things that were very similar to how Heat played out. Like it's that scene in Heat where Al Pacino tackles like Henry Rollins and shit. And it's like, yes. You didn't do that. That was a stuntman. And it's like, why does the tackle have to be in there? Like a lot of things to try to get him over as an ex-football player, which he would return to later in his career.
What was that? The replacements, right? Love that.
Yeah. So let's see. We'll do trivia and favorite scenes, and then we'll wrap this up.
Let's run it.
All right. So trivia is a little extensive, so I'll just start hitting them. Patrick Swayze was an accomplished skydiver who took part in a big skydiving scene. He made.
You answered a question for me. I wrote that question down. Was he a certified skydiver for this?
He made 55 jumps in total. The film was originally called Johnny Utah. When Keanu Reeves was cast in the title role, the studio felt it was very little about surfing, but by the time Patrick Swayze was cast, the film was renamed Riders of the Storm by the Doors song. However, the lyrics had nothing to do with the film. So he just
I feel like Riders of the Storm would have been a bomb-ass title for that, though.
Absolutely, but it's literally at the end of the movie where you get that kind of payoff. So they said he wanted with Point Break because it was more relevance to surfing. Mm-hmm. Many of the surfing scenes, Patrick Swayze refused to use a stunt double as he never had one in any of the fight scene or the car chases. So he was surfing. Keanu Reeves observed FBI agents in Los Angeles to study for the role. He also practiced with the UCLA quarterback coaches to help him with the football scenes. His pocket passing was terrible.
This was before. Well, you know what? This was the early mold for what got us John Wick. So I'm allowing him to suck at training at this point in his career.
Sure.
This is pre-Speed, and Speed's where he really picked up speed. Yes, I did that on purpose.
And I think this was this around the time as Bram Stoker's Dracula?
I think so.
Yeah, like this is either
they're all
the
in
year
that,
of
91, 90 to 94 spur of all of our now current actors getting their first roles, like first big roles.
Tyler explains to Johnny Utah that Patrick Swayze's character is named Bodhi, the Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva is a term in the Buddhist religion meaning an enlightened being who, out of compassion, forgoes nirvana in order to save others. Bodhi means wakefulness.
Oh, I see what he meant. Like with wake. Oh, wake like a wave wake, like a water wake.
Yeah. Let's see. More on Swayze and skydiving. He participates in skydiving as a hobby. He was told to stop while filming for insurance purposes once production began. Producers coaxed him into an agreement with the promise of letting the star do one actual skydive on scene. The uncut shot of Bodhi yelling "Adios, amigo" and falling from the plane features Swayze actually making a jump. Unbeknownst to the producers, he was not on the call sheet that day and would occasionally just run to the airport to go skydiving anyway.
Yo,
he didn't give a shit.
He's a fucking G. Swayze was like, yo, I'm on my time.
Right.
I know what I'm doing.
Johnny Utah became a U.S. FBI agent after his knee injury that ended his football career. In real life, Keanu once was an aspiring hockey player who suffered a knee injury and he went on to become an actor.
I knew he was a hockey player. I remember that.
He had a wild blown out knee. So Catherine Bigelow fought to have Keanu Reeves cast as Johnny Utah, insisting that she wouldn't do the movie without him. The studio producers were interested in looking at higher profile actors like Johnny Depp.
It would have made more sense for the Johnny Utah.
Yeah. So keep this in mind, because I think there are other casting things, and let's just look at what that movie would look like with a different cast.
Let's do it.
Patrick Swayze cracked 4 ribs while filming the surfing scenes.
Sounds about right.
Officially uncredited because of an unresolved issue with the Writers Guild of America, James Cameron and Catherine Bigelow rewrote the final script together. Patrick Swayze auditioned for the role of Johnny Utah before landing the role of Bodhi. Matthew Broderick was originally offered the role of Johnny Utah. Others who auditioned for the role were Johnny Depp, Charlie Sheen, Willem Dafoe, and Val Kilmer.
Willem Dafoe trying to be a 25-year-old surfer, ex-football player, would have had me in fucking stitches.
Well, remember, this is a few years after To Live and Die in L.A.
I know, but Willem Dafoe has an old man face.
Stop it. But you're right.
Just like Morgan Freeman has an old man face.
He has a whole old man everything, actually.
Well, he's now, but like even when he got started, like him and Sam Jackson have old man faces for how they got in.
Ridley Scott was the first choice to direct the movie, but instead decided to direct which 1991 movie featuring, I believe, Susan Sarandon and Gina Davis?
Oh, was this Alien?
No.
No, what was it? No, it wasn't Species.
This is Thelma and Louise.
Oh, I didn't realize Ridley Scott did Thelma and Louise.
Yeah. The ex-president's masks are Jimmy Carter, Richard Nixon, Ronald Reagan, and Lyndon B. Johnson. These 4 of the 5 living former U.S. presidents at the time of the movie was made, the 5th being Gerald Ford, famously a college football player. The F word, fuck, was said more than 105 times during the movie. So Willem Dafoe turned down the role to be Johnny Utah, by the way.
But wait. I said I would be Jimmy Carter, and I didn't realize Jimmy Carter was one of the presidents in the heist. Never mind. Screw Reagan. I'm Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, I could be Gerald Ford. I could work, actually.
Oh, no. Utah would have technically been Ford, though.
Yes, he would have.
I love that. I like that.
And the football reference, too.
Yes.
The film was released the same weekend as what 1991 Blackety Black movie in L.A.? Ice Cube is involved.
Oh, Friday?
That was 95.
Oh, that was 95? Straight Outta no, never mind.
Cuba
Never
Gooding
mind.
Jr. Boys in the Hood.
Baby Boy? Boys in the Hood. That's what I was cycling through my Black History movies, getting to Boys in the Hood.
So this came out in the same weekend. So these came out against each other.
So Boys in the Hood, Point Break, and Terminator Judgment Day.
Yeah, I think Terminator was in
chunk.
his second week, so it was still going ahead.
But still, that's like it was in the same season.
Yes.
It was the same like release season. Holy shit.
Now this is a good one. The members of the ex-presidents are killed in chronological order of their respective presidential service and office.
So what? In order of when they ended their services is how they died?
Yes.
Oh, I did say this though. I said props to Catherine Bigelow for the continuity of leaving Bodhi's suit with the fire damage to it after the scene with the at the gas station.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, I love that.
Big points on that.
Okay, cool.
Now
that makes sense.
This is my last point, and this kind of relates to the ending of the movie. Director Catherine Bigelow and her then husband and collaborator on the film, James Cameron, rewrote the end together. Cameron said in his Terminator 2 Judgment Day commentary that Bodhi killed himself at the end of the movie. So he confirmed it, because some people felt it was, he just got away.
How did he get away? Did you not see him off of his board in the water getting crushed by the waves?
Right. It's just like some people are weird. I'll just put it that way. It's like, Also, people don't realize that like Australia's coast has a lot of coral reefs and like it's not smooth down there. No. So like if you get under the water, you're either drowning or you're cracking your shit under there. And it was like, I was like, this is the only way that Utah would have been allowed to not take him in, is to let him die, and they pulled the body back. Yeah. So this is the last portion of this pod. I want to talk about our favorite scenes. Mm-hmm. So I have 4 favorite scenes. I don't know if they're the most indicative, but they're good examples of things that I think kind of make up this movie. I'll start off with, this is that Gary Busey acting thing that you were touching on earlier. Basically, Gary Busey and Keanu Reeves just screaming at each other earlier in the movie. Are you mad?
If you couldn't crack it with all your years of experience, it's impossible to conceive that I might have something to offer, right? Well, maybe I can do better than some over-the-hill burnout.
Hey, watch your mouth.
Maybe you ought to just take some early retirement right now and get some rent-a-cop night security job. Tell mom stories.
Listen, you snot-nosed little shit! I was taking shrapnel and K-Son while you were crapping in your hands and rubbing it on your face!
You mad?
Yeah, I'm mad!
Good and mad!
Yeah, what do you want to do about it?
Feels good, doesn't it? Like you're still alive, right?
Yeah!
Well, since you're still alive and you're not in the box just yet, why don't you tell me this theory of yours and we'll go get these guys?
You're mad!
It was so fucking bad. I was like, what about watching? I was like, this is 20 minutes in. Can we?
I love it. I love it. I gotta follow this up. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. So I'll do all of mine then.
Yeah.
The first robbery I thought was really good. You know, it was just efficient. It got over what they were about, and it kind of. I didn't need anything further. They got themselves over that much for me.
Rock and roll.
The fight against Bodhi, the fight with Bodhi and Johnny against the Nazis that was cool.
At the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. After they like fucked him up for a snake in the line.
Yuppie insects like me shouldn't be surfing the break and all that, right?
Nope. That would be a waste of time.
We're just gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, and I think it was really funny how like literally Bodhi is doing his like Roadhouse martial arts or what have you.
Yes. Yeah, the Roadhouse Taekwondo.
Yes. And lastly, I had this. You get kind of see Bodhi do his heel turn, but he's still charismatic. This is going to sting a little bit, bro. And you just see like Tyler getting fucking like kidnapped or what have you by Rosie's bitch ass.
Yeah.
He's like, sorry, man. It's fucked up, bro. I was like, I hate this.
Fucked up, bro. Yo.
It's like, look, man. And he wasn't being threatening. He was still acting like he was a good guy, but he was a piece of shit. So that's what I had.
I loved it. So mine is, I personally love, because I'm not going to echo the ones you had because those are all great clips. I'm going to come up with some new ones. Mine is the first training montage for surfing, specifically the quote or the banter between Utah and Tyler. Hey, my name is Johnny Utah. Who cares? I was like, yo, that was so good.
Tank girl yelling at his ass, by the way.
Tank girl yelling at his ass. That's great. Let's see. I also thought that the entire chase scene is top notch.
Mm-hmm.
I think the whole, like the startup of the Utah, give me two, all the way to him blowing his knee out is absolutely like, I think that's I think the chase scene is better than the first heist scene, in my opinion.
It's a very good chase scene.
Really good.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. Honestly, I'm kind of a sucker for the bedroom gun pull scene, just because I'm like, this is so out of fucking pocket to watch this happen. Because I'm like, this probably happened. This probably really happened. And then my last favorite scene is such a dark scene. It's watching Roach die in the plane. Bodhi put the parachute on him, throw him out the plane, and then realizes that Roach was able to pull the parachute and died in the process of skydiving. That's
extreme.
Absolutely got me. I was like, what? Oh, this has nothing to this is back to the high school. This comment that I realized was like, how do surfers keep white gloves clean? And then how are you 25 years old sleeping on the beach?
Yeah, that didn't work for me. That like you got sand in places, sir. Like it's
But to this day, I think after having watched it, because also mind you, I watched this after like a full day of skating. And I just sat down. I was like, I'm going to watch this movie before I go to bed. And I like intently watched it. And it was like, they did my boy Roach so fucking dirty. He's a virgin. He's a virgin surfer who got killed by like as a proxy to show that like Bodhi was evil the whole time.
Yes.
And he had that sweet, like, Sherpa line denim jacket on. I was like, bro, there's blood all in that jacket now.
What did he say? We need to get to an altitude high enough that you can jump?
Yeah.
I was like, no, you mean you're just going to push this fucker out? It's fucking terrible.
Could have possibly, and the thing is, if they had been, like, 2,000 feet lower, Roach possibly could have been picked up by Rosie in the truck.
Yeah, it's just like we could just catch
They
him.
could have gotten away.
Yeah. And the thing that was the thing that was wild, it was like some science around that whole, like the way skydiving works is like, you would not have caught up to them for this like super like brotherly handshake skydive dissension thing. Wouldn't have happened.
I still can't believe that Johnny Utah's best thought was, let me jump out of the plane.
It was just, fuck it. I got his, because apparently the caliber of gun that Bodhi had is a very powerful caliber of gun. It's like probably out of the guns that you could obviously see in the movie, it was as powerful as one of those like shotguns that the Nazis had.
Yeah.
So he grabbed a gun that Bodhi was like, yeah, fuck it, you ain't gonna do shit. And then he just jumps out with the pistol, Rocketeer style, towards.
And didn't do shit.
Yes.
And didn't do shit. Bodhi was right.
And they were playing chicken. He's like, yeah, you pull the shoot, man. I was like, yo, you gotta toss the gun, brother.
This is how I know. And you know what he could have done? Tucked the gun in his goddamn pants and pulled the chute.
He would have Plax-Barris himself, though.
No, you know what he could have done? You know what he could have done then? Tuck the gun in Bodhi's waistband, pull the chute. Once he gets a firm grip, pull the gun out, and now he's got the gun and they're descending.
Yeah.
Like there was this couldn't, like, in 91. This is a bad good movie for 1991.
Now, did he redeem himself in a way of, because he could have went full 7, right? In terms of you're in the desert, you know what? She's got to die. Fuck this. Blam, just cause. That would have cemented him as being evil more than what he was already at. It's like, all right, you're not a good guy, but also pretty.
You have scruples.
Yeah,
you've got some sort of moral code that you're living with.
So that's a piece of it. And the other thing I'll say is, yo, how much money do you have to be traveling from country to country to kind of look for Bodhi? My God.
Oh, you know what? No, here's the. I don't think that he traveled. Well, yeah, he did do all that shit. That was crazy. I also put that. One of my last comments was, this is definitely where the Fast and the Furious franchise got its inspiration.
Yes.
I was like, oh, I see beats of all the movies of our childhood where I'm like, oh, this is why Point Break is in the conversation with Heat for like why it's so integral to these kinds of films, because truly it's a cult classic because it hits all the notes properly, even though it doesn't do anything particularly well. Yeah, absolutely. And, just the delivery of that line, I am an FBI agent. It's like, dude, different. Shut up.
Choose differently.
Shut up, Johnny.
Choose differently. I mean, we need to do a remake, just black, and his name is Jeff, like Mississippi or something. I don't know.
Jeff Compton.
Oh my God.
No, it's Darius Compton.
Ladarius Compton.
Ladarius Compton. No, you know what it would be though? That would be a short because it would be 15 minutes. Because the moment that there's water involved, they're like, "No, we ain't doing this shit." I ain't swimming.
I'm all set.
I ain't swimming. Yo.
So
actually, no. Technically. No, that's a really color commentary statement. I'm not going to make that. I was going to try and make a real allusion to like Queen and Slim, and I was like, oh yeah, it makes sense. They wanted to be a couple. If they had just gotten to be a couple and been black, it would have been Queen and Slim almost. And I'm like, nope, that's both neither true nor funny, so we're not going to say that.
That's what we do here. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had for this. So in the last thing we'll do is so where do you rank this in terms of your 90s movies in this framework? How often do you feel like you got to watch this movie to kind of dip back in, and how long has it been since you've last seen like Point Break?
All right, so I'm going to pull the top back on this now and I'll let you know. I watched the 2015 movie first in 2015, and then I watched this movie this week.
2015 was not good.
2015 was bad.
Like Bodhi was.
Here's the thing. It didn't sully my reason to watch the original. I was just like, I'm going to watch the original eventually. I want to see this one just to see kind of what someone's interpretation of the original is, so I can stack it against the main film when I watch the main film. This
with its flaws and with its thing or what have you, I watched because the 2015 one is 6 years old at this point. It's like,
it's almost due for a rewatch,
and it's just not good. It's weird casting. That's what the initial thing that threw me off. It's like you need so even looking at it from this level, Bodhi is blonde or what have you, and the dark hair, that whole thing, as far as Keanu Reeves, they should almost be in opposite roles.
Yeah, they gave the brunette's Bodhi and the blonde is Utah.
Yeah, and so
although to be fair, those names almost ring better. I feel like Johnny Utah is a very blonde name. I feel like Bodhi is a very brunette name.
Yes,
it might just be the wordplay, but that's how I'm thinking through it.
So I think this is a movie that I can watch like once every like 5-6 years or what have you, just kind of dip back in.
Exactly.
You're not going to find anything really new, but if it's part of like a festival, or if it's part of like one of these, you know what, I want to look at, up to 95 Keanu Reeves, or I want to see like what Swayze was doing in the 90s. You can definitely just dip in there and just like, oh, this is great, because it's not a lot of people in there in terms of like major stars, with the exception of those two, and they're doing their job. They're doing a lot of that heavy lifting, and you're getting what you'd want from the two of them.
Mm-hmm. I would put this, so I'm going to borrow from, there is a YouTube channel called Let Me Explain that has a kind of a rating system of this based on how you would pay to like view it. And if this were 91 and I were like going to see this, I would absolutely pay to see this in like prime time. Now that it's 2021 and we have access to the internet and we have all these things to do, I'm going to give it the next best thing, which is a very near and dear position for film in my heart. It's a great weekend matinee to lay on the couch and just watch. Like, I will pay attention. I'm not falling asleep per se, but I've seen it and I know the beats to it, so I don't have to pay attention per se. Like, I would be on the couch, maybe a joint in, watching this movie and chuckling, and I would have a blast. I would have an absolute blast watching this. So it still holds up. I think it holds up better than the 2015 version 6 years later.
Yeah.
This one at 30 years later holds up better than the remake in a fraction of the time.
Yes. And
without a doubt.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think we're all set. So thank you for coming on to this podcast. And this has been Let's Watch It Again. We have Aaron Brown on this episode, and I'm Rob Lee saying keep watching those movies, folks.